observing today in the market is there is a huge amount of data which is lying with everyone today, which you're not able to infer anything out from. So you are having this data lying in your servers somewhere at the back end where you're not able to get any inference which is able to give you some business outcomes out of it. So in case you are able to build bridges, get some inference out of the data which is lying idle in your servers somewhere, while you are getting a lot of data still being fed in through different modes, you are asking people to fill in multiple forms, you're getting, again, a lot of data from there. All you need is proper resources, tools for business intelligence, if that can give you a lot of insight from the same data. So you can increase your business from the same data. You can, earlier this used to be called noise. So earlier what we used to do is, there used to be some marketing activity we used to do, and we used to get some data out of that, and we used to say that this market activity happened, and this much was the outcome. And 5 people purchased. This is how the marketing activity used to happen. But today, in case a CXO looks at it, he would try to infer how many people, what they were currently using. They would want to go deeper into the data, how the purchase cycles happens. They would want to know what is the expiry of that product, whatever they were looking at. They would want to know multiple things into the data. So all those data come into business insights. And in case you can get business intelligence into whatever data you have, you are going to win the battle. And cloud is in the middle of everything. So whatever, whether you are giving device access to someone, if you want to secure that, you can have remote wiping possible. You can have encryption, which is 128-bit encrypted column in your device, whatever device you're giving to your employees to use. And that can be remotely wiped. The part which is given by you to access your services on any device can be remotely wiped by you whenever the employee either moves out or his device is lost. So all those things are possible through cloud. So I went through So now what Microsoft has done is, it has created a cloud operating system which in turn can interact with an on-prem environment and also can interact with the Microsoft own cloud, which is Azure. So what we have done is we have created an operating system which can fetch data, part data can be lying in the on-prem environment of a customer. So in case you are visiting a customer and customer says, I have invested heavily on my current hardware and licenses and my services are running on it. I don't want to move out of it. So you say, okay, we are not looking at migrating the existing data or your services or applications. In case you're looking at expanding anything out of it, you can take it from a data center which is having Cloud OS from Microsoft, which in turn can be interacting with the on-prem applications, and a part of it can lie in the data center which is there in their on-premise, and a part of it which is lying in the data center. Now a customer says, I want to have even a third part wherein I want to have some applications running on Microsoft public cloud, which is Microsoft Azure. So you can do that as well. So there are a lot of applications which can be a simple plug and play applications running from Azure and can be given as a bundled service to your customers along with whatever services they are looking at. So I'm going to go deeper into it. I'm going to explain all of those in details. So here, what we observed is it's a hybrid environment in which you are serving a customer who is able to have his current applications in his on-premise. He is able to have a data center-based application which is integrating seamlessly with the data center-based applications. And those are seamlessly integrating with the applications which are there in Microsoft Azure Cloud. So all these 3 applications are running seamlessly for a customer. He would not even feel the difference how and where the transition of these applications are happening. So this is what Microsoft is calling as Microsoft Cloud OS. So what we are, now I want to go ahead with some data. So I'm going to throw up some data points to give you how the cloud is evolving across and where we are missing out right now and where we need to pick up our sleeves and run really fast to catch up. So we are seeing 93% of people or organizations are using Active Directory as service, which is very, very critical for everyone. So you would be seeing that you have multiple applications, multiple accesses, and you have to have different username and password to access those. So you would have a CRM application which you would want to access. You would have email applications. You would have a different username and password for. You would have a free mail ID in which you would have a different access. So what ADFS does is it takes all your applications and gives you a single access to all those applications in a single platform. So this is where people are adapting it and why it is very, very important for us to look at that as a service. Then third, 3 in 4 servers worldwide are Windows servers. So CloudOS is very, very important because once you come on this platform, you are able to approach a customer who is having on-prem Windows environment, and you can simply give them a pitch that you can run your on-prem environment, or you can move it to Webworks data center or any approved Microsoft Cloud Cozen network data center, and you can seamlessly take them there, and you can also give them access to public cloud of Microsoft, which is Azure. So he has a seamless access, and he does not have to invest too much of money to go ahead with it. It is coming on all pay-as-you-go basis. So 46% is the share of single enterprise, which is driving the business insights and the data of any customer. So System Center is one of the products which was earlier underutilized. Today we are seeing that System Center has been upgraded to take care of capabilities of even VMware. So there are some applications through which we are able to manage the workloads which are non-Microsoft workloads. So in case someone has created or has subscribed for CloudOS network through Webworks, he can go ahead and manage his Amazon-based cloud or Azure-based cloud or VMware-based cloud as well through a single interface. So this is one of the great achievements which this CloudOS network provides. So in front you can see a lot of data about how many authentications are happening, and how many 50% of Fortune 500 organizations are using Windows Azure. So all up, what we are seeing is it's a huge growth and a huge adoption which is happening across organizations to improve overall their existing IT system, to improvise on getting more business out of the consumption of IT. Instead of purely looking at improving their productivity, they are looking at getting more business from IT. So what we are looking at is, we are looking at transforming your data center. You can move in a dedicated space into Webworks data center or a cloud-based application whenever you want host any customer there. So what will happen is you can plug and play services. So first is the basic compute. The second is data. As I said, data is going to be very, very important. There are applications like business intelligence as service can be plugged into your existing applications. So in case, let us assume a scenario, you are having a CRM which you are running into your on-prem. Now you are looking at getting more inference out of your CRM. You are thinking of launching a new product. So you have a lot of data lying in your CRM files. You have a data warehousing software also somewhere in which you have collected a lot of data. Let us take a very simple example. Let us assume a telecom company. So they keep on asking you, filling up a lot of forms on your data. What is your email ID? What is your date of birth? When is your marriage anniversary? And every day you'll find something or the other popping up. So all that data is being collected and stored in some places where, in case they have some business intelligence tool, they can get much more inference out of it. They will be able to have their marketing programs run in a much better way. They will be knowing when are the services expiring, etc. When are different applications which they are requiring are upgrading, etc. in case they are looking at data in a much, much closer way. So all those tools are outcome of good intelligence on the data, whatever they are using. People empowerment comes with technology. As I said, in case you can manage your device well, you can give access to employees on their different devices. Today, you are scared to give access of your CRM or your ERP or any other application mails on the company on the employees who are using it on their devices, which are not certified. So in case it's a iOS or Android operating system, so you are scared because in case the employee loses the device, what will happen to it? So how we come into picture? There is a application called Enterprise Management for devices. So in this, what we do is there are different components of it. So first is identity as a service, in which you have ADFS through which you sign on multiple applications in a single place. Then you have device management as a separate application through which you can give secure access by providing, first of all, the password application on any device. So in case you are giving a device, it should always be protected with a password. Then there is a separate part of the disk which actually is encrypted with 128-bit encryption, so that in case someone is trying to access that, he has to have certain tools and he will not be able to access that data. So that encryption, if you are providing to those customers on the device, then you can ensure that whatever you are giving on that encrypted piece is controlled, and you can give those accesses to those employees. So third part, in case a customer loses the device, you can remotely wipe with a single press of a button. So all these things are very, very important in case you are giving access to your important data to any customer. And finally, your modern apps. As I'm saying, every day, every customer is looking at improving his day-to-day workings, and what he requires is new apps, and people are working on it to get the new apps, and they would need some place to host it. And what better than a data center which gives you the flexibility to move it across platforms. In case he wants to keep it on his data center in his own premises, he can keep it there. If he wants to put it in a data center, in Webworks data center, he can do it there. In case he wants to migrate it to Azure, he can migrate it there. Now, tomorrow he thinks that I want to move it back to my own data center. He has simply, seamlessly, he can do it. So this is what CloudOS is all about. He can seamlessly migrate on any platform and come back without any restrictions at all. So here we go, where we are seeing as opportunity today. 45% of total IT spendings will be on cloud. So what we are saying is it will be hybrid environment which is going to be on play for a long time. In case you want to increase your business, pure cloud is not going to be the way. On-prem is not going to be the way. It is going to be hybrid environment which is going to be the maximum play for any service provider. So you need to be having some platform which can seamlessly integrate you from your on-prem to a data center to the public cloud. So here is what I already explained. So you wouldn't have any boundaries. You can migrate data across platforms. You will see innovations, as I said, different plug-and-play services like identity as a service which can be plugged in, then business intelligence as a service which can be plugged in to any application, whether he's running his applications on-prem or in a data center or in public cloud. All across, you can simply plug and play and give services to a customer. So I would want to skip a few things. And again, so here is very, very important point on big data adoption. As I was saying, big data is going to play a very, very important role in overall IT consumption and how people are going to be consuming and using data to increase their business. So today, earlier, the role of